Ever since the space race began in the 20th century, mankind has developed a keen interest in conquering the celestials. This led to the first man setting foot on the moon in 1969, and later on building entire space stations. However, our goals reach much further than just that. We're talking about planetary colonization, interplanetary transport, and space habitats, which we will be discussing in today's video. In our conquest to conquer the stars, it is very important that we do not forget the smaller but necessary steps to space civilization. Space habitation is a very important one of these steps. As of now, we only have small space stations to fulfill this task. But we are going to need a little more. A lot more actually. Current space stations do not have artificial gravity and are relatively small. Several concepts have been laid down which aim to visualize how our much needed future space stations may look like. From giant rings to mega cylinders, there was no shortage of proposals. However, these are too ambitious and fail to address many problems like solar radiation, energy supply, or rotational stability. Luckily, there is one project which solves most of these problems and is relatively more practical. The Kalpana One, a 500 meter wide colony with clever and intricate features to provide space colonists with maximum Earth-like conditions. Situated at the low Earth orbit, this could finally bring our dreams of being a spacefaring civilization one step closer to reality. Could space colonization be achievable in our lifetime? Will our future homes, schools and offices be in the vastness of the void? Today, we explore the Kalpana One. When we talk about future space stations, many of you may be thinking of something like the ones shown in films like Interstellar and 2001: A Space Odyssey. These can be scientifically referred to as Bernal sphere, Stanford torus, O'Neill cylinder, or Lewis 1. These were mostly designed in the 1970s and hence may be outdated. Because we are talking about placing humans in our modules, we will need effective protection from harmful space radiations. This can be done by covering the spaceship in layers of appropriate material, like water or any kind of metal. However, designs like the Bernal sphere or Stanford torus have too much surface area and would need an immense amount of their mass dedicated to just shielding. On the other hand, those space stations would also need a good amount of natural sunlight for agriculture. This can be done by reflecting light into the spacecraft via mirrors, as in case of the O'Neill cylinders. But again, the required size of these mirrors are too large and are hence not practical. Another way is to avoid solar light completely, but this again has many of its own problems. All of these designs also have multiple hurdles, like rotational instability, lack of wobble control, and safety issues. The Kalpana One is a design put by the American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics in 2006. It is named after former NASA astronaut Kalpana Chawla, was among the 7 who tragically lost their lives in the Columbia disaster. The space station is projected to house nearly 3,000 residents. It is 325 meters long and 500 meters in diameter. A cylindrical shape is ideal because it has the minimum shielding mass per unit living area compared to other shapes. The radius ensures that the residents have 1 g of gravity while rotating at 2 rpm, while the length provides rotational stability. Kalpana One's axis of rotation is aligned with the solar system's north-south axis to provide continuous natural light through transparent end caps, eradicating the need for giant mirrors. A population of 3,000 people will require roughly 180 megawatts per day. This target can be reached by adding separate solar power satellites which collect and supply solar energy to the module. The stability of the spacecraft rotation can further be enhanced by attaching weights, and these weights can be controlled by computerized algorithms. For our space visitors, the Kalpana One can provide many zero-G recreation areas like sports, centers, and hotels. A pool is also suggested on the spacecraft. Let's just hope we do not get a passengers-like situation here. The space colony is to be placed in the low Earth orbit, which will further reduce radiation on the spacecraft. The interior of the entire module will be reinforced by attaching tension cables. The total mass of this station will be around 7 million tons, which is more than 14 times the ISS. If we were to carry the entire mass to space using our Falcon rockets, the cost for carrying the material to space would be $19 billion. This cost should come down due to larger rockets launching soon and potential space mining. While the total cost cannot really be determined due to multiple factors, some very random estimates can lead to around $1 to $300 billion. The technologies required for this project are also available in present times, or at least almost ready. If the dimensions are to be accurately considered, Kalpana One could provide more than 1 million square meters of living space in total, equivalent to around 5,800 tennis courts or 213 football fields. This area is more than enough for a sustainable space colony, considering that a lot of area will be required for agriculture. However, we must remind you that this project has never made it out of the drawing board, because it forgets one major factor that must be addressed: political will. As of now, there is no real motive to fund such a massive project, possibly because there are other milestones which we would like to cross before considering space habitation. There are multiple such projects which can be built if we give them the necessary attention, but may not be perfectly feasible at the moment. NASA themselves have said that they do not lack the skill, but the resources. Although we may be limited by our resources right now, that does not mean we should stop dreaming. Because what lies further may be even more exciting. Because with the coming of private contenders, we may see some exponential development in the future. With the retirement of the ISS in the coming years, the demand for space stations will be reignited, possibly giving a chance to our innovators to think of new space stations. As we set foot on Mars or other celestial bodies, we will desperately need such space colonies. In the future, we may be able to have dinner in space, or maybe lie on a beach facing a burning star, or perhaps play football while orbiting another planet. But as of now, we must be patient and observe the process of laying the foundation of our future endeavors. We can never predict the exact trajectory of mankind's never-ending journey into the future, but we can shape it. As the famous quote says, "Born too early to explore the earth, born too late to explore the stars." Or maybe, we are born just in the right time. The time to witness our greatest achievements.